Hello, and welcome back to episode 11 of my MyTeam career mode with United Racing. We're back today for the Zandvoort Grand Prix. We're going to just quickly throw on a bit of reaction training for Dan Ticktum. We are going to give him till the end of the season. His contract's due for renewal after this race. And it's not been a great season for him. The highest he's finished was 15th, which was back in Bahrain. And there was two people not finishing, including myself, for that to happen. We did have a good race in Belgium on the last episode, finishing 13th, and it was quite a strong race for us. Not quite as good as Hungary or Austria, but nevertheless. Coming into Zandvoort, we've got a relatively fresh engine here still after Belgium, where it was completely new, and then hopefully as we go through the weekend we'll be able to get a good qualifying in and maybe a good performance in the race as well. As I say, Dan's going to get till the end of the season, and then at that point, if he's still not performing, we'll be looking to replace him, but who with, we're not sure yet. And just before we head into practice, we've got the weather forecast here. We're expecting a dry to wet race, although it will be dry in qualifying. So, could be a very interesting day. As you can see, Haas have caught up with us, and a couple of teams above us have moved a bit further away in the Alpine and the Williams. Alfa Romeo stay the same distance they were. However, R&D in progress, we've got a lot coming in over the next few weeks. This page here will be ready for our next race, and then the major upgrade at the bottom there will be ready for the one after, I believe. I could be wrong on the timings, but nevertheless, we're in a position here where we're just above Haas. We can kind of push into the Alfa Alpine Williams battle with a bit of luck. With our fresh engine parts, we should be able to do that, and then occasionally we manage to latch onto the back of the Aston Martins and get them to drag us along, which has been working well for us. Was certainly working well in Britain until the engine failure, so hopefully we can get a bit more of that this week, and again get towards that just outside the top 10 would be a great finish for us if we can pull that off. Of course, with the rain, it could go either way. If we can time it right, then we might be able to be in a great position going into the wet half of the race. But we'll head into practice one, and I'll see you in qualifying. So you join us here on our first lap in qualifying. Sergio Perez goes fastest just behind us. Of course, not someone we're going to be challenging, but nevertheless. Interestingly, I did try and practice the route around this corner that they took in real life. Did not work to the same effect as what it did in real life. But we head up the hill and through the next section into the start of sector 2 and into this long right-hander, and we've gone wide. Invalidated our lap time, but we're going to go back round, and we didn't bother to go in for the pits. We've just gone straight back out on the same tyres.
2 laps of fuel left.
And this time as we come round, we're going to be a bit more careful of that exit on turn 8. On turn 7 the exit was, I suppose, actually. This time we're 2 tenths up on our time and 3 tenths as we come round into turn 7, and this time we stay well away from exceeding the track limits. And now of course the delta's going to fly up because we of course took it very easy after the mistake, and into the next DRS zone out of turn 10 we go, and into this hard braking zone of turn 11 and 12. We've got Dan just ahead of us, which hopefully we can use him to get a bit of a slipstream from. Yeah, if he's punching the hole in the air for us, we can use that to increase our time a little bit down the straight, and it's going to be a 1:12.9, so does put us ahead of Raikkonen but below Vettel, kind of where we expect the car to sit. We then came back out at the end of the session. Giovinazzi is right behind us throughout this whole lap, but throughout the lap we never really go green on the Delta at all, which is why we're just kind of showing you flying around. We ended up about 2/10 down. We went a little bit wide on the corner exit of turn 8. But then sector 3 we do really well up. We basically gain those 2/10 back. But despite that, qualifying ends and we are in 18th, 2/10 away from being into Q2. So we're unlucky there. Dan again not performing behind us, and when we look at our lap times, you can see we went 2/10 down in sector 2, 2/10 up in sector 3, so we would have been right on the verge of sector Q2 with the right lap.
For years, the passionate Dutch fans have been easy to find trackside at races across Europe and throughout the world. Now at long last, they have a Grand Prix to call their own. It's a warm welcome once again to all of our viewers in the Netherlands and around the globe as we get underway for the Dutch Grand Prix. Zandvoort circuit, 14 corners, 10 to the right and 4 to the left, with plenty of steep camber and elevation changes to keep our drivers on their toes throughout a 2.6 mile lap. Anthony Davidson also joins me in the commentary box today. Let's have a chat about McLaren. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Leclerc, Lando Norris and Ricciardo, Gasly, Tsunoda, Vettel and Fernando Alonso, Stroll, Ocon, Lewis Hamilton and Giovinazzi, Russell, Sainz, Kimi Raikkonen and Ace, Latifi, Mick Schumacher, Tigtum and Nikita Mazepin. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
So we're getting ready on the grid. We of course know we're expecting rain towards the end of the race. Looking at the personalised, they're suggesting we can pull off mediums to softs, and overall I found tyre wear I never really had to try during the tyre wear simulation, so I think I would agree in that we've got enough about us to just see that through without too much worry. So that's what we're going to go for as we line up 18th place. Hamilton and Sainz both taking grid penalties. 13th for Hamilton, 16th for Sainz, as we come off the line and head into turn 1, and we get up the inside alongside Raikkonen. Can we get ahead of him? We can't at this time. Latifi's next to us. We go past him into turn 2, and now on Kimi we go all the way around the outside of turn 3, and we get aggressive out of it as well, going at Giovinazzi, but we're not going to be able to take him as of yet. Raikkonen trying to come back up the inside, but we just closed the door on him into turn 6, and somebody caught the gravel there, we heard. Not sure who that was, and we think about a dive into turn 8 on Giovinazzi, but we think better of it. I did check my wing after the wheel-to-wheel contact with Raikkonen, but it seems to be okay. We come in towards turn 11, we can see Sainz went for a move on Russell. We go for a move on Giovinazzi, and we are past him. They've gone for the hards, whereas we're on the mediums, and probably just that gives us that bit of extra grip at this early stage. Sainz is going to go all the way around the outside of Russell here. Very nice overtake. And as we go into turn 3, we're going to go for that round the outside move that we've done once in this race on Latifi and Raikkonen. And as we come through turn 5, that's where we managed to get ahead of Russell and just forcing our way through the field here. And now we're back on the back of Sainz and Stroll. My plan now is what we've done quite a lot recently: latch onto the back of one of the faster cars and see if we can just stick with them. Sainz is going for a move on Stroll at the start of lap 3, and exactly what we did to Russell last lap, he is through. And at the end of that lap, we've now got DRS available as we come out of turn 14, chasing down Stroll. We open the DRS. He's out of range of Sainz, which means into turn 1. There's nothing Stroll can do about the defence. We can already see Sainz going past Ocon though, and he's making moves at the moment. Later on in the race, lap 6, we're following Ocon. We've pulled away from Stroll and Russell. Yes, they're on the hards, but we've still done well. We've managed to keep up with this group ahead of us. I think that might be somewhat to do with the fact that it's led by an Aston Martin, and I think nobody can really quite get past him. But we're going to open our DRS. We're very close to Ocon here, and we're positioning for an overtake. We're going to go, and no, we back out of it on this occasion. There was support there, but I think it would have been, we were just too far back on this lap. We do think about going on the outside here, but again, too far back. We're not in a position to challenge that, and we're just going to follow him through the turn 5. However, end of lap 7, we've got a much better exit this time. We're already on this back out of turn 14, and we're going to go for the dive, and Ocon going very wide there. Not sure what caused that. Let's have a look. As he comes into the court, oh, it's a massive lockup from Ocon, which allows us to go through in clear air. And, well, I say in clear air, allows us to go through very cleanly. But you can see here the gap between the leading Aston Martin here and the next AlphaTauri. The Red Bulls are well ahead, which Hamilton is in this pack that we're following at the moment. That's got to be a concern for him. And on lap 9, he still hasn't managed to clear.
Okay, you're catching the car ahead.
Not even managed to clear Alonso at this stage. And then he's got to get past Vettel. And it's looking like it's going to be a very, very good day for Red Bull, as long as they don't make any major mistakes with the pit stops and things like that when the rain does arrive. Because it's almost guaranteed to arrive, we just don't know when. Coming out of turn 14 on lap 10, we're in a position to attack Sainz, but he's actually pitting, so we're just going to head straight down the main straight. And I think there was a contact there between Alonso and Hamilton. So Hamilton, we're hoping that's not too serious. At this stage, the fact that Sainz is pitting tells me these guys, their softs are starting to go off. Our mediums are still feeling fantastic, so we seem to be able to keep pace with them. And as we head towards lap 13, we're going to be right on the back of Alonso, and we're going for the overtake, but again, just as we're in position to go for an overtake,
You're in the top 10 now. Keep it up.
that's when the pit stop happens, and means we don't get the look of the overtake, but we are still past, which is all that matters for us. And now we've got to just try and stay with Vettel. He's on the hards, but at this stage we're probably reaching a point where the hards are becoming more effective. We've got a McLaren off the track. Let's have a look. It's Lando Norris, and he's just gone flying, spinning across the track. So he goes into turn 8, catches the inner curb, and just loses it, unfortunately. And you can see how much time he's lost there, because we go past him there as well.
Green flag.
So, massive time loss for Lando Norris. But now, lap 15, we're just trying to stay with Sebastian Vettel. Ocon's behind us, but never really getting in a position to challenge us. And we go over the curb a little bit there, just misjudge that. And then knock into the back of Vettel. No wing damage though, so we're fine on that front. But the clouds have got a lot darker, and I think we're starting to get the first drops of rain as we enter lap 17.
It's going to keep getting heavier for the next 15 minutes at least. Dries seem like the fastest tyre at the moment. No need to worry about tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good.
So the rain is starting to fall, but at the moment we're not going to be crossing over. However, a couple laps later, lap 19, and it's starting to pour quite badly. And we've got to be starting to think about changing to the intermediates. At this point, I'm considering going in at the end of this lap.
I know these conditions are tough, but bear with it. I don't think the track is ready for intermediates yet.
And you say that, Jeff, but it looks very ready in my opinion. And we're going to be preparing that change now.
A new strategy is available on the MFD.
Dan Ticktum is in the
Got that
pits.
confirmed?
And it is for intermediates, so we are going to do exactly the same. We get right behind Vettel as we come into the pits. And that is going to give us a chance. If he gets held up by anyone coming in, we might get the jump on him.
Be racing on the exit. Release, release.
And we have had the jump on him.
See these tyres through to the end now.
We exit the pits. We've gained a position. And perhaps most importantly, unlike Hamilton and Sainz, we hadn't already pitted. So we've now got a massive gap ahead of that group as we pass Stroll in the pits as well. And you can see there, Sainz and Hamilton still stuck behind an Alfa Romeo. So they are really going to be struggling to get points because they've got to clear
Don't
him
know
soon.
just yet, but we've seen a problem at our end. We're looking into it.
And that is not the words we want to hear from Jeff right now.
There seems to be an issue with our ERS. Okay, touch wood. Seems like the fault has resolved itself.
So the engine fault seems to have sorted, but our ERS is stuck on.
The issue seems to be fixed, but we will keep monitoring it our end.
However, by the end of lap 22, both issues now seem to be fixed as we're able to turn off the overtake as we come into turn 1. We're still ahead of Vettel, but he has closed the gap down to 0.3 seconds at times. A few laps later on lap 27 though, not so much. We've actually started to pull away. We're 1.4 seconds ahead roughly on him now. And I would say if he'd had DRS, he probably would have been past us by this point. But of course, in the rain, you're not going to get DRS, and that's benefited us fantastically. We're currently on to pick up a few points for ourselves. 7th, I believe, is 6 points. Or is it 8? We nearly lose it out of turn 1, but we get it back under control.
Okay, there appears to be an issue. We're currently investigating.
And we've got more concerns about an issue with the car. But despite that, at the moment, we are just flying in open space.
Good news, it looks like the fault has been fixed.
It's taken less than half a lap for the issue to be fixed this time. But there's not much to show you in this closing portion of the race. We're just in open air. Vettel's never really challenging us for position. Kimi Raikkonen is out of the race though. I did check it on a replay. It's just an engine failure, so there's nothing for me to really show you. And then you can see as we come towards the final lap, Vettel has closed the gap down to 0.4 again.
This is your final lap of the race.
But outside of a mistake, we should be fine because he's not really challenging for the position. I think in these conditions it's very difficult for him to do so, in fairness. But nevertheless, it suits us that we've got this advantage. And we nearly lose it. And again, and we're swerving all over the place. Vettel goes past just about safely. And we might lose out to Tsunoda as well, but we get our foot down. Max Verstappen is confirmed as the race winner, and we've gone from 7th down to 8th. It could have been a heck of a lot worse, so we could easily have been
Got 2 laps of fuel left.
in the barrier. We could have spun. If we'd span, definitely Tsunoda, probably Stroll, who's not too far behind, would have got past as well. And we would have been down to 1 point, but we managed to hold it just about enough as we follow Vettel into the final sector here. It's going to be 4 points for us in the end, as long as we make it through these final couple of corners, which we should be absolutely fine. We stay well clear of the inner curb, which causes a lot of problems. I did spin out there in practice. However, we're going to cross the line in 8th place.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
So overall, 8th place, it's a good finish for us. As I predicted earlier in the race, Red Bull, fantastic day for them, because they've been just levels above everyone today. Yes, Bottas is in there on the podium, but despite that, Hamilton nowhere to be seen. Hamilton didn't pick up points, so 1st and 3rd for Red Bull. Fantastic result for them, and it's going to be a massive swing in the Constructors' Championship and also in the Drivers' Championship. In terms of Hamilton's chances, will have been drastically hurt by this. And you can see here, 4 points for us. Verstappen also getting fastest lap though, and you can see Giovinazzi just managed to stay ahead of Sainz and Hamilton no matter what they tried. They just could not get past them. And Ocon was only a second behind there. Dan finishes a lap down though, and can't say I'm massively surprised, unfortunately. Verstappen moves 41 points clear of Hamilton after that. We move a little bit further away. What was funny is that they mentioned Williams making progress. They literally moved up from 11th to 10th based on results. A little bit funny. If you have enjoyed that, please do leave a like down below. Comment your predictions for the next race, which is going to be Monza. Final thoughts on if you think we should keep Dan until the end of the season. Let me know what you think. And subscribe. Thank you very much for watching.